All right, our first caller we have calling from Michigan, Jude. Jude, welcome to Stay Paid.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's good to be. It's good to be here too, Jude. It's
We-
good to have you on the show.
We actually love being here.
We love being here. We think. I don't know. So, Jude, what can we help you with? What is your question to help you grow your business?
So a question is kind of just a moment of frustration. I put the question out there. How do I get a sellers, and this could be applicable to any seller that, they want to sell, but they're just kind of sitting on the fence. They're hemming and hawing. And how can I help somebody to push them to move forward in the right way?
Yeah, this is a great question. I'm curious, Cody, your take. Obviously, you're in it every day with not only your agents, but you're doing it yourself too. What's your natural gut on this?
Yeah, I actually just coached an agent on this yesterday. So this is perfect. So the first thing I'll ask you, which I asked him, is like, what is their motivation? So because it depends on the person. So I need to know what's their motivation on why they're selling.
Do you know, Jude? Like, what is the motivation for this person?
So that would be, I don't know if you have a scenario, Jude, but that would be my first question to you would be like, all right, the seller, what's their motivation? And in it, because my job isn't to make someone sell, but my job as a salesman is to find out their goals and help them get them to their goals. And that might be sooner than they think, but I don't know that unless I talk to them and figure out what, because like for instance, they live in a 2-story apartment. They're older. They want a 1 level and they're tired of the 2-story. They're not in a super rush, but at the same time, that is a big deal for them. And like the husband recently fell and had a surgery. So like it is a pressure thing they need to do, but it's not necessarily a timetable on it. So for them, it's all right. Our motivation was this. When would ideally you like to be moved in the house by? Specifically that question. So we know exactly when they're thinking, but then it's going, okay, you just had this fall. It seems like this would be an important decision for you because financially they have a 2% interest rate, right? So financially it doesn't make sense to do this. They're going to pay the same and probably downsize. So financially we're not there. So there's 2 things we do is I help you on the financial side, but there's a personal side you have to decide. And what we've talked through on your motivation wise was the personal side of living on the 1 level is big for you. So because of that, that's why we need to find a house. So it all comes back to the motivational piece because my job isn't to make someone sell their house, but my job is to help someone get to their goal on why they wanted to and remind them of that. So that would be my encouragement to you is come back to the one thing that matters most in any phone call, any prospecting is their motivation on why they're doing it. Because that's my job is to remind them and help them get there.
What is the motivation, Jude, of the person you're frustrated at? Do you know?
This particular person, they happen to inherit a home that's bigger, more than they want. So there is that motivation for them specifically is they are elderly and not capable of caring for a larger home. So they're in the home, but they want out. And my connection with them is through the daughter whom I've already walked through the home, met with mom and daughter and said, okay, these are the things like if we want to maximize our money on the sale, my job getting you the most amount of money in the time that you're willing and able to make the move. This is what we should do. Maybe that's where their hangup is because I think that they're feeling like, oh, we got to do these things.
Sure.
But anyway, I thought I'd throw the question out there to get other people's take on it.
Yeah. So my next question to that is like, all right, then what's their next move once they do that? They sell the house.
Yep. So she actually has another property lined up so that she can move into.
Awesome.
I wouldn't be involved in that end of it.
Okay. So they have another house they can move into. And then what happens with the money once they sell? Like what's the reward of doing such thing? Like how does that move their life forward in selling this property, taking away a pain and adding a benefit? What does that look like? And I would connect those dots if you haven't.
So it really is, it's essentially you have said to them how you can financially help them make the most money from their home which it seems like you've done a good job there. That has added another pain point, if I'm reading you correctly, which is you have to do some things in order to set your house up to get the most bang for your buck. So you're almost creating a barrier there. So the only way to overcome that is you've got to double down on the reward. What is the reward? And so it's like anything in sales, you have to spend enough time to generate emotion and get people. It's like why the classic is the car salesman always wants to get you into the car and wants you to drive the car. And the reason they want you to do that is because they want you to spend time with it, and they want you to start seeing yourself in it, and they want you to start thinking, who would that person be that's driving it? All this emotional stuff they're trying to trigger for you. It doesn't go one for one to, selling a home, but ultimately you got to get them thinking about, what does life look like on the other side of this sale?
Right.
And how valuable is that? And then I'll come back, because these are things that, I feel that you probably know, Jude, you probably do in your business, but it's like really pressing on, what would this mean to you and your family? Why are you, wanting to sell, and what time frame, is driving it? Is there any other pressure points that are driving this? Because my job is, I want to help you sell this home for the most money you possibly can. And I want to make sure it's at the right time to help you. So ultimately, if you don't need to sell your home, I don't want to make you sell your home. If it's not the best time to sell, I don't want you to sell, because I want to be there for you, whether it's today or 3 years from now. I want to be your trusted real estate advisor. But tell me about what this sale means to you. Why would you want to sell? And get them to express, get them to story tell to you, what does it mean to them? Because you got to get them envisioning it so you can maybe tap on that emotion. Now, I'll come back, because Cody, I think that's spot on what you're saying, but go ahead, Jude. You have a question on that before I move on?
Oh no, I don't. I think, no, you're spot on. I love it.
Okay. And so here's the thing that I would come back to for everybody listening, myself included. When you want to get someone to move and you're frustrated that they're not moving, and I don't mean literally moving, I just mean like the deal getting closed or the deal getting done, it usually is an indicator your pipeline's not full. You need to have so many deals happening and so much potential, Jude, in your pipeline that it doesn't bother you at all if Cody doesn't buy or sell right now. You want to give Cody the best service. You want to tell him what the pros and cons are. You want to be there, but you want to treat it just like a relationship. If it's your mom, your dad, your brother or sister, it's like, well, you just want to present the value, say, I'm here to help you. You need to stack your pipeline. So I'd also plant that seed for you. I don't know what your pipeline's looking like and how many deals you have, but a lot of times when we feel the pressure to try to get somebody to move, it's because we want that deal so bad. And I'm not saying this is you, but this is what I tend to see in the industry. You got to stack your pipeline. Go spend that energy, that frustration to go get your next client. Because that person, if you treat them right and you do what's right by them, like Cody's saying, and like you probably will do, Jude, then you'll be solid, whether it's today or a year from now. But let's go spend that energy and put it into our pipeline.
Yeah, I love that.
Agreed.
And I'll add something to that too, because you said there's some things they have to do to the house to get it ready. And my thing is, what problems can I solve to help that get quicker? Like, what can I take off their plate? We had another coaching with Tim that's been on the podcast yesterday, and the same kind. They need to do landscaping bad, and same kind of thing happened where the husband got injured, and but they need to sell. They actually bought a house recently, and so they have 2 mortgages, so they have to sell this one, but it's been delayed. And we're talking with Tim on like, all right, what can we do to help move that forward? Can we just send landscapers over there, pay for it, take it out of closing on to get paid back on that side? Can we do that? What ways can we efficiently help this client get to where they need to get to? Because we know they need to sell, but they're having some pain. My job in this is to make it efficient, to problem solve and figure out how to get there. So my question for you too would be like, all right, what can we do to help them problem solve and some of the issues that need to be done with the house? Because I can get that. I know the people that can get it done. How can I finagle that to make it work?
Yeah, it's a great point. These are the contractors you can use. This is the landscaping company. In fact, I'll set them up for you. Would you want me to call them and get them out to your house? How has this year been for you, Jude? How is your transaction count or your volume been this year?
A little bit lower. I'm just under 2 million, 11 transactions.
Nice.
So this year
Congrats.
has been, yeah. I've got almost the same amount pending. So I'm just
Do you really?
looking at how-
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Congrats. So yeah, I mean, you're in the, I think Tom Ferry put out a stat recently. It's like 1 million agents, 1,065,000 have not done a deal in the first 6 months of the year. There's like 340,000 have done like 2.1 deals. 70,000, I think it was 68 to 70,000 have done 7.1 deals. And then there's like 1,400 that have done 40 plus, and then another 1,400 have done 126 plus. So you're actually doing really well. You're in the 68,000 that's done, more than 7 deals, which is congrats to you. So feel good about that because you're doing a lot of things right. So I would just tell you that it feels like you're probably not digging enough into getting them to share their motivation. So I'd spend more time there, and you're probably not, or I would encourage you to rethink, how can you take care of the problems that you've put in front of them to sell that home, like Cody's saying? Can you solve that for them and at least present that? Because at the very least, even if they don't choose to do it, guess what you showed? You showed the amount of value that Jude brings to the transaction, whether they sell today or in 6 months or 3 years, you will be there for them. And then you go take that energy and you put it into the 11 that are pending for you right now. And, you make those come to fruition.
Right. Absolutely. I love that. I had shared with them contractors, but that's what I was thinking, short of going and painting their basement myself. It's like,
Right.
okay,
Go
no,
paint the
I'll bring
basement.
those, I'll tell them I'll set stuff up. I'll be there.
Yep.
If you can't be there, you're out of town. I'll take care of these people.
Yeah,
Let's get them in. Let's finish this work so that you don't have to feel that weight
Right.
of or burden of having to do it.
Yeah. And the reason we're
Yeah.
going to do this is because blank the reward, right? Like we want to do these things because I always remind them, hey, this is about your decision. So what I can do to do this and this to solve this problem, so you can get blank, so you can go do this, because that's such a huge piece. Is when I present the problem, I present the fix, I remind them of the reason we're doing it, so they're constantly reminded that all this pain, all the things I'm solving, is so they get the reward at the end of whatever that is. So I love that.
Awesome. Jude, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate your question. I think it's very helpful to everybody because we all have those buyers and those sellers that just won't get off the couch. They won't move, and it's frustrating. And, at the end of the day, all we can do is how can we provide more value? Because sales 101 is people have a pain point they're trying to solve or a desired outcome they're trying to achieve. And oftentimes the desired outcome, there's pain points in between. And our job as the professionals to come in and share with them how our service product and what we do can alleviate pain points to help them achieve the desired result. And so that's, what you're trying to do. But ultimately, you're not going to be able to make everybody do that. So you just got to have a massive pipeline. So you never have to feel commission breath. You never have to feel like you have to pressure anybody. It's like, hey, if it's not you today, don't worry. It can be you tomorrow, because I have plenty of people that I can go serve. So Jude, thank you for coming on. Let's connect on social, but really appreciate the question. Hope you have a great one.
Thanks, Jude. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You too.
Best of luck.
Yeah.
Bye.